Good Monday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team, where it has been a nice Labor Day. Now, to some of you, your week already started today, but others of you, your weekend might be just ending if you had Labor Day off. And it has been a pretty nice Labor Day weather-wise here in the metro Atlanta area. But if you were up in North Georgia or in the mountains, you had to dodge a few showers. We didn't see any of that rain here in the metro Atlanta area today. We had a good bit of sunshine. A few clouds moved through a little bit earlier. Our high temperatures made it up to around 81 degrees here this afternoon after a morning low of 68. So it was another below average day. Well, that's all about to change, as we're going to see, number one, our temperatures are going to be rising once we get toward the middle and especially the end of the week and into the weekend. But we're also going to see our rain chances here for the metro Atlanta area going up after we've been kind of dealing with a little bit of a drier period here, except for those folks up in parts of North Georgia. Now, it is a nice, mainly clear night tonight. We've had just a few clouds around, made the sunset look pretty nice in some spots, but we're still dealing with a few showers that are mainly over parts of North Georgia. Dry in Atlanta, just a couple of clouds here and there, a few more of those trying to build back into parts of West Georgia. A couple of those will move through our area overnight, just generally giving us partly cloudy skies here. But where we're seeing the rain has been over areas of North Georgia. We have this one coming out of Tennessee, moving into parts of Fannin County that has some light rain with it, but a little cluster there of some heavy rain that's about to push into the northern parts of Gilmer County at this hour. Gilmer already is getting just a few lighter showers. We have a few of those lighter showers over into areas of Union County, Towns County, a few in Lumpkin County, some over near Toccoa. Also here in northwest Georgia, we have a few of those showers. These are mainly light in parts of Catoosa County, moving into Whitfield County. A couple of those may make it over into Murray County, but the trend with that is that cell or that area of rain looks like it is weakening just a little bit more. But here's that one we're talking about really near Higdon. I'm going to get in just a little bit tighter to that one right there. That is where we do have a heavier shower that is moving through those spots right now. Just a little bit to the west of Higdon, right there at Oasis and Colwell, where we just have an isolated heavier shower. So far, we have not seen any indications of any lightning with that, but just a good downpour that's falling right now in that northwestern part of Fannin County here at this hour. And then, of course, as we were mentioning earlier, a few more of those showers here. Some of these moving in towards Suches. We have some coming into parts of Lumpkin County, Dawson County, Pickens County. Seeing a few of those showers over in Union, Towns County, over there just south of Hiawassee. A few lighter showers that are pushing through those areas as well. We're also we're watching earlier tonight some of those showers that were over into Alabama. And if you were watching us at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock tonight, some of them looked pretty impressive. It was a broken area of rain over into Alabama, but some individual cells had some lightning with it. But I was showing you at 5 and 6 o'clock how as some of those got closer to Interstate 59, they were showing signs of weakening. And I had mentioned that I thought it would be a low risk for any of these to hold together pushing into West Georgia. I mentioned maybe Floyd and Polk County could see a lingering shower there, but most of those, see that right there, falling apart as they were moving into parts of Floyd County. There are some additional showers back here into Alabama. They're a little more impressive west of Birmingham, over in parts of western Alabama. This area of rain looking a little better coverage of rain there, and some of those with some heavier rain and more moderate rain with them. And we do have some thunder and lightning just to the west of Birmingham, not too far off from the Tuscaloosa area there along 359. But we do think that's going to weaken as it gets closer to Georgia too. So really, for the most part, for those of us here in metro Atlanta, we expect to stay dry during the overnight hours, but we will see just a few of those clouds mixing in with the stars and the moon out there for tonight too. And as you look up to the north and west, you see still nothing really major that's going to be moving our way during the nighttime hours tonight. Here is a live look from our tower cam there in DeKalb County at Arizona Avenue, looking westward toward the city. Of course, it's dark now. You know, sunset now is at about 8:02 or 8:03. We're about to lose sunsets after 8 o'clock. Within this week, those are going to go back to 7:59, then 7:58 as those sunsets are happening earlier and earlier. So now when I do these updates at 9 o'clock, we're not seeing much of that sunset anymore, much of the color in the sky anymore. This is a dark view of the city, beautiful city, but again, just a few clouds mixing in. Here's our view right now at Truist Park. The Braves, let's see, where were they today? They were not in town. Were they in Chicago? I don't remember exactly where the Braves were today, but the lights are on at Truist, and we have, nice conditions there right now. And this is our view in Athens. We were looking toward the west a little while ago to see the sun going down. It was a nice sunset, again, mixing in with just a few clouds around at times. But any of those lingering clouds that are around are not giving us any rain at all. Here is that high temperature today of 81 degrees. Our low this morning was 68. Now look at the normals. The average high for this time of year is 87. So we were about 6 degrees below the average today. Now the lows are still really comfortable at 68, but if you'll recall, earlier last week, we had some lows in the lower 60s and around 60 degrees, but it was 68 for a low this morning. That's a couple of degrees below where we should be where we should be for a low this time of year. And speaking of rainfall, that deficit is growing now about 3/4 of an inch below where we should be in rainfall for the year. We haven't picked up any rain today. We do see some showers coming in for the middle of the week, but the rainfall estimates with this aren't really that impressive. We're just going to see a few scattered showers that'll be moving in. Here's a look at those temperatures that I was talking about here. There's that low of 68 this morning. That was between 6, 7, and 8 o'clock this morning. Usually around sunrise is when we have our coolest temperature of the day. We were in the 70s for a big part of the morning and afternoon. It wasn't until 4 o'clock that we got up to 80 degrees. And then in between these two hourlies here, we actually hit 81 and then dropped to 79 at 6 and 7 and then 76. And now we are at 74 degrees here in town. So, September, you expect things to get a little bit cooler, but we still have some hot weather in September. We're not finished with the hot weather yet. In fact, this week we expect to hit 90 degrees as we head into the weekend. And if we hit 90, that is going to be the first time since October 21st that we've actually hit 90 degrees. That is definitely rare for us to go that long with temperatures that have been below the average. Right now, it is comfortable, but a little on the mild side in spots. We're at 74 in Atlanta. Now, that's where it's kind of feeling milder here. We also have 75 in Rome, lower 70s in Dalton, Canton, Gainesville, Lawrenceville. But then look at the 60s, of course, in North Georgia. But we do have some 60s, though, a little closer to home. Look at Covington at 68, 65 in Athens, 66 in Peachtree City, and 68 right now over in Carrollton. These temperatures really comfortable here for a summer evening to begin the month of September. Here's what we're expecting during the day tomorrow. We do think temperatures tomorrow morning will be cooler than what we had today, moving down to around 62 degrees here to start. Then warming as we go through the afternoon hours, getting up to about 82 degrees here for the afternoon. So here's the forecast track. And we are watching a few showers there in north and northwest Georgia. But notice, so you see them here, and really this model is kind of overdoing what we are currently seeing on radar right now. We really don't see that much. But what I want you to see is the trend is that those all fall apart before they get to Atlanta. And most of them are already falling apart right now on the Georgia and Alabama line. So we're not expecting that rain for the overnight hours here in the Atlanta area. During the day tomorrow, we will have some clouds mixing in with the sunshine at times. This is at lunchtime, partly cloudy skies, no rain around. And really, we don't expect hardly any rain here in the metro area. There's a little better chance up in far north Georgia that there might be a couple of showers there. But I do think that we'll be rain-free here in the metro area tomorrow into the evening hours as well. Then we start seeing some changes on Wednesday, and that's with the rain chance coming up a little bit. But it's not going to be a huge chance of rain. We're just going to see enough moisture coming in to give us a few isolated showers that'll be pushing in. Some of those in the morning on Wednesday in northwest Georgia. Lunchtime, again, not a widespread coverage of rain here, just a few of those isolated showers here and there, maybe a little better chance in far northeast Georgia. And then in the afternoon, not a widespread coverage of showers, just a couple of spotty isolated showers around here for your Wednesday. Again, that rain chance is going to be at about 30%. And then heading into your Thursday, maybe a little better chance for a few showers on the north side to start the day on Thursday. A lot of that moves east at lunchtime, maybe here in the metro area, seeing a little shower pushing through, and then in the afternoon hours, more of that over to the east of us, but then a couple other spotty showers there over on the west side for the middle of the afternoon on Thursday, as that rain chance is going to be with us again, mainly Wednesday and Thursday. But even though we do have a rain chance for both of those days, those chances are on the lower end. Here's a look at the moisture map. And this is where, remember when we had the cool air last week and the low humidity? We had this dark blue color that was over us last week. Now it's blue and kind of yellows mixing in a little bit as the air is getting a little more moist. We're seeing a little more humidity mixing in, giving us occasionally a few more clouds. That's going to be the story here for Tuesday. And then also into Wednesday. I know this doesn't show a big, moisture surplus or anything moving in, or a concentrated area of moisture pushing in, but it's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday when we see those rain chances a little higher, just a little more moisture that's going to be moving in here. And then going into Friday and Saturday, I know these colors are still there with the humidity levels, but the rain chances will be lower on Friday as well as on Saturday. We do think we'll get into the weekend to be relatively dry, and then lower rain chances going into parts of next week too. We're also going to see some hotter air that's going to be moving our way. That's going to be one of the bigger changes that we see over the next few days. We've been spoiled by the drier air. We've been spoiled by the cooler air. Now both of those are changing. It's getting warmer and it's going to get a little more humid out there. And you can see that here with the dew points. This is the actual measure of how much moisture is in the atmosphere. Dew points here in the 50s to start the week today, also tomorrow. Comfortable air. But those dew points start rising a little bit into the 60s. That'll be with us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So feeling a little more humid. And again, on a Wednesday and Thursday, that's where we're going to see those rain chances coming up just a little bit. So rain-free expected here for your Tuesday, then a 30% chance for a shower Wednesday and Thursday, and then mainly dry on Friday and on Saturday, as those temperatures are going to be heating up. Here's a look at the rain comparison. Last week, I didn't even really show you these comparisons because the models were in total disagreement for what to expect this weekend. And most of us were rain-free this weekend. One of these models was showing the potential for 4 inches of rain over the weekend. That's why I didn't want to show it to you, because I just didn't agree with it at all. Now the models are a little closer together for the potential for rainfall over the next 7 days. The American model is actually going higher at a little bit over a ½ inch in Atlanta, maybe some spots with an inch. I think that's overdoing it. I really think that the European model is a little more realistic, although the European model was the one last week that was totally off the charts there. But I think it's kind of coming back together here with showing just those really low rainfall amounts possible in our area over the next 7 days. Low temperatures, still comfortable, but starting to come back up a little bit more into the upper 60s by Saturday, but still below average, low temperatures. We should be around 70 for this time of year for those mornings. And then afternoon highs, that's what's coming up too. The average high for this time of year as we start the month of September would be 87. We'll be about 5 degrees lower than that Tuesday, up to 84 Wednesday. It looks like Thursday we will be back up to average, and then above average on Friday and Saturday, potentially getting up to 90 degrees here on Saturday afternoon. As I mentioned a little while ago, if we get to that 90-degree temperature, that will be the first time we've been in the 90s since August 21st. So here's a look at the moisture. Again, not a lot of it here. Going into Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe just a couple of isolated showers. On Thursday, a couple of isolated showers. Mainly dry here on Friday, as well as into Saturday. Then going into Sunday, mainly dry, but possibly a couple of showers as we head into Monday. Again, that rain chance is going to be on the low end there, and then also into next week. Quick look at the tropics, and I'll show you what we're watching out to the west. Not much going on in the Gulf or in the closer, the western Atlantic here, but in the eastern Atlantic off the coast of Africa, we've got this system. The percentages are coming up a little bit. 10% chance of developing over the next 2 days, 60% chance to become a tropical depression or a tropical storm over the next 7 days. The next name on the list is Gabrielle. Models show it moving to the west, and then the extended models show it kind of curving away before it gets to the United States. But as you know, these models can change. It's way out there, so we have a lot of time to keep watching this. But there's a look at the dry weather for Tuesday. 30% chance for a shower on Wednesday as well as on Thursday. Friday, mostly sunny skies, but look how we warm up to 88 degrees on Friday, then 90 on Saturday. That's going to be hot. If you're headed up to Athens for the Georgia game and you're sitting in the sun, Just know you're going to be baking for that game. It's a 3:30 game, though. Sunday, partly cloudy and 87. And then Monday, we're back to just a 20% chance for a shower here for your Monday, with temperatures that trend back down to the mid-80s. So watching those changes coming up this week. Number one, rain chances are going to be coming up. And then number two, the temperatures are also coming up too. We'll have another update for you tonight at 11 o'clock on 11 Alive News, as well as updates throughout the day tomorrow too. Chesley's in early tomorrow morning. Danielle will have updates throughout the day. I'll be back with you in the afternoon hours as well. So we hope you have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow.